Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from the Hotel West End in beautiful Nice. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by Master Spas, SFuels Go Longer, HOKA Let's Fly, deboer wetsuits, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, Quintana Root, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, a young man who knows this course well. He won Ironman France last year. Please give it up for Mr. Rudy Von Berg. How you doing, Rootster?
Good. Recovered from the crash from a couple months ago. So
yes,
that's good.
Yeah, it's very good. But how far away from here did you grow up?
About half an hour drive.
Half an hour drive.
So it's also a half an hour ride to the bottom of the main climb.
Okay.
Of the course. So.
And the course here is pretty identical to what you raced when you won Ironman France.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, apart for a little out and back section that they're adding here to get the full 180K.
Right. Yeah. And you like the climbing, the descending, everything that this brings to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a perfect rider's course.
Yes. As
a triathlete, I'd say, not necessarily just as a cyclist, because you really get everything you would want as a cyclist. You get the fast TT section, power sections, you get then you get into these steep short hills, then you're kind of on the plateau before the main climb, and it's kind of up and down, a lot of false flats, some technical aspects. Then you're on the second plateau up on the mountain, and then you finish with technical downhills before the last flat into town. So you kind of get a bit of everything. It's not crazy, just mountain passes. It's just a really good mix for an awesome race on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So when I look at Ironman Hawaii last year, 20th, obviously not your day, but bike split 4:15, and then when you won here, bike split 4:38. So obviously this is a little longer time on the bike. Talk a little bit about just your first experience in Kona.
Yeah, and also 4:38 was for 10K short on the bike.
It was 10K shorter.
So that would be at least 450, 455.
Yes. Is that how long you think this course will take for the pros this time?
We think for the best guys, it's going to take no less than 440.
Wow.
So definitely, close to 40 minutes extra riding compared to the best times in Kona.
And fueling-wise, that'll make a big difference.
I mean, you're definitely just going to have to take that into account because,
yeah,
definitely 40 to 50 minutes extra riding definitely counts.
In that last part where you've got a lot of downhill and then, coming back into town, really, when you look at the course, it looks like from 80 to 100 is down. I'm sure there's some little ups in the middle of that, but then is it 100 to 112 sort of gradual down and flat in the town? How important is it to get away in that during that downhill?
Yeah, the downhill is a lot of people talk about it, and also a lot of athletes, I think, now that they've seen the downhill, it's a little different than what they thought it would be. It's not very steep. You're pedaling for probably 80% of the downhill. You're pedaling.
Right.
So you still have to keep the focus and still be kind of fresh for the downhill in order to have a quick time for the last, or in order to not lose too much time, let's say, in the last 30, 40K.
Right.
Don't think, I'm at 120K, the last 60Ks are all downhill, it's kind of over.
Right.
It's very different to that. And then you get the flat part into town as well. So, you just have to still be on it, have the mental clarity and the power.
Home court advantage for you?
Definitely.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, how many times do you think you've ridden this course?
Well, the whole course, I wouldn't necessarily do it like that.
Right.
In that way also when I was young. But as I said, the main climb, I've done it, yes.
A ton.
100 times or more.
Yes.
Or probably much more than that. And the downhill, I've practiced on it quite a bit since 70.3 Worlds in 2019.
Yes.
And I was back in Boulder for the summer, but I know the downhill so well, and I've done it a few times now again since I've been back. And
how long you've been
starting
back?
to feel quite quick on it. So
how long you've been back?
I've been back for 2 weeks.
Okay. And how long did it take you to recover from the crash?
I pretty much started all 3 sports after 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
I could do indoor riding pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But Yeah, run and swim. Yeah, back to, let's say, full triathlon training.
Yes.
3 weeks, even though at first it's not quite real volume and intensity, you just build back to it. So I definitely lost quite a bit of form at that period. But we can say pretty much July 1st was when I kind of got back to it.
Yeah.
So about, 8 weeks, 9 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's a little on the limit, but I think I've done well with it.
Well, and when I look at the Ironman Texas race this year, and you have 3 guys within 20-some seconds,
Yeah.
and you take the lead with, half a mile to go, something like that?
I took the lead with maybe 500
100
meters to
meters
go.
to
It was a crazy race. I mean, I was leading for almost the whole race.
Yes.
From starting 20, 30 Ks on the ride.
Yes.
But then those guys were coming back strong at the end of the marathon. I wasn't really slowing down. They were just
going
doing
fast.
really well.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy last 3-4 Ks. And the turning point was when Matthew Marquardt almost caught me just within a few meters with 2K to go.
Yeah.
And then something just switched in me. And it's kind of like a third dimension, and I just go crazy, and I forget pain. And that enabled me to catch Robert Wilkowiecki.
So Robert had already caught you, and Robert had gone
He
by.
was ahead of me for the last 6, 7, 8 Ks.
And when you're leading for so long, right, you sort of take ownership of that. And when Robert went by, did you feel like, okay, I'm done?
Not really, but it was quite difficult mentally because he was never more than 30, 40 seconds
Yes, you
behind
can see
me.
him though. Oh,
so
yeah,
the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
marathon, he was somewhat
Right there.
I was somewhat thinking about him. And Matthew, he was 3-4 minutes back, so he was actually never really in my mind.
Well, and also Matthew, this is his first time out, right?
Right, and we weren't really thinking about him.
Yeah.
And then he just started accelerating, running really fast in the last 6 miles.
Yeah.
And just all of a sudden caught us. And yeah, that was very surprising, and no one thought I would win at that point.
Yes.
But something switched, and I was able to get the win. It was worth the 5-6 minutes of
suffering,
intense pain.
Well, but when you win a race like that, you sort of learn something about yourself, right? You learn that, okay, there is another gear that maybe I didn't know about.
Yeah, I feel like I've done that in a few races already.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, most of my bigger wins, I've been able to just find something special in the last few Ks.
Yes.
For example, a 70.3 European Championship against Gomez.
Yes.
The year before that, in the same 70.3 Championship against Adam Bowden. Both were won by just 10, 20 seconds, just with late surges. So I think when I can smell the win, I usually have that little extra thing in me.
Yes.
That's just all mental, it's not really. Yeah.
Is the run course pretty much the same as when you won here?
Yes, the run course is just out in
4
backs
loops
here on the seashore.
With every person you've ever known cheering for you.
Right, that's gonna help. Because I mean, I was when I was young, I was doing the little Iron Kids race.
Yes.
In the middle of when they would
When your dad was
the
racing.
professionals would go out on the bike.
Yeah.
We'd have the Iron Kids race. So this is where I started triathlon.
This is it. So you know every inch of these roads. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know the course well, which kind of makes it shorter in your mind because
Yes.
you can kind of go through it in your mind quite quickly. But I mean, in the end, power is still gonna be the important factor. Definitely a bit of technical aspect, but.
When you crashed, were you concerned that, oh my God, my whole plan is to go to Nice, I want to win a world championship? Did you feel like that might be out the window?
Yeah, right away at the beginning, I was very disappointed because I didn't think a collarbone could heal that quickly.
Yes.
So at first, I was thinking as a normal bone, so 6 weeks.
Yes.
So I was adding 6 weeks to June 10th, and there was only 6 weeks left.
Right.
But 6 weeks of training from 6 weeks of almost no training,
you're done.
There's no way.
Yes.
So, but then I started talking to some other athletes, and with surgery, the recovery is much quicker. And so I was able to.
So you did the surgery?
I did this. Yeah, I still have a plate, which we will remove in December.
Right.
Probably.
But
because if you crash again on it, it can be worse. The bone can kind of break everywhere around the plate. So it's better to remove it, even though plenty of athletes don't.
Has it affected the way you take the downhills?
I mean, at first I was definitely a bit scared in parts where there was cars.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But thankfully I didn't crash in a downhill. I crashed into a car.
Okay.
So I'm scared of cars, but I'm not scared of downhills.
And there shouldn't be any cars out there, hopefully.
No, yeah. I mean, it's definitely still you go through villages and.
Yes.
But as I said at the beginning, in the last few training rides, I'm starting to really trust the trajectory, trust my tires, trust my bike, and I'm feeling pretty good, at least for the downhill part.
So when you won Ironman France last year, Ironman Nice, what was the reaction here? Hometown boy wins on his hometown course.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first full Ironman.
Yes.
So it was definitely pretty big. Lots of messages from people that I even haven't heard from in a long time to just know me from triathlon when I was younger. So it was pretty epic. But I know that for this race, the density of athletes is much higher, and I'm going to have a better performance.
When you go into a race like this, do you think about, okay, I know, Cam Wurf does this on the bike, and do you pick out certain guys to be thinking about, or you just focus because you know this course so well, you just do your thing?
It's better to do your thing, but I think since there's so many good guys, and I think a lot of us are going to be together out of the swim,
right?
It's going to be kind of a group, and you don't want to just let everyone go.
Right.
I know a lot of guys are going to be going up very quickly on that main climb. I've looked at a few Stravas, and I don't really usually worry about that too much, but I just happened to see a few, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be very quick. It's going to be a kind of a 70.3 pace type Ironman.
Yeah.
So you just have to be at that limit of really pushing yourself on race day and doing your best times, but not really overdoing it too much. So you want to overdo it a little because race day is the day to go the fastest.
Right.
But also, obviously, you don't want to blow up. So you just have to find that sweet spot.
Winning Ironman Nice last year is awesome, but to potentially win here, of the first time we've had the Ironman World Championship outside the U.S. and it's in your hometown, what would that mean to you?
I mean, that would be the pinnacle of my career for me.
Yeah.
Because the Ironman World Championship is the highest race you can win for me in triathlon. It's always been Kona, but to have it at home in Nice, where I grew up, would be that would be everything for me. I was saying, kidding to myself, that I would just quit triathlon if that happened.
Drop the mic.
I would just stop.
Mic drop moment. It's done. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it would mean.
Well, and especially someone who grew up. I mean, how many times did your dad do the Ironman World Championship over in Kona?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
And you were there.
And that's where I think that was my first race ever, actually, as a kid. Spectating. I was 5 years old in 1998. And
so you got to watch your dad finish that the most important day in sport.
And he won his age group too. So
yes, which he did numerous times.
And also plenty of times here in Nice.
Yes. So you watched him win his age group here in Nice as well.
Yes, it used to be also a I2 long distance world championship in the days, and even if I wasn't here or if he wasn't racing, I would always ride up to the top of the Col de l'Ecre where all the guys would go up and see them go by. So
watch your dad race there. So
my dad or just the professionals on the years where he wasn't racing.
Yes. Yeah. So growing up in this sport and seeing the biggest name pros, and now you're one of those guys, is that sort of a dream come true? The fact that you grew up with the sport, and now there's kids out there who are watching you, like you used to watch the guys back in 98, 99, 2000.
Yeah.
Era, Peter Reed and all those type of guys.
Comes full circle. Time goes by so quick, but now I'm that guy that I was watching from the side of the road, and hope to make everyone proud.
That's very, very cool. With all the different races you've had, is there one that sticks out besides Nice that you look at? That was the best race I ever had.
I'd say maybe there's a couple now. Those 70.3 European champs against Gomez. That's always one that pops up in my mind. Yep. That was one of my best performances, swim, bike, or run.
With everything put together, yeah.
Yeah, even just watts, pace on the run, and mental resilience.
Yes.
And then at Texas this year was very important for me because after getting mono in 2021, then getting this stomach parasite, in 2022 and changing coach. I haven't had, as you said, 20th in Kona. I haven't had quite the results I wanted, and I was definitely a couple levels down from before all that happened. So to come back and get a big win, pretty much one of the biggest wins of my career, an Ironman championship race.
Yes.
That was very important for my belief.
Confidence,
confidence
absolutely.
heading into this race as well. And especially, and this year I've also had the collarbone.
Yes.
So I've had something every year the last 3 years. So I'm hoping next year I'm hoping to have a full year with no issue.
I mean, that's the hardest part is when you have that type of stuff happen, you're not just taking a week off of training, you're starting over.
Right. I mean, essentially you lose 2-3 months when something happens. 'Cause
Yes.
you lose your level, you have to get back training, and you're not racing in that period.
And not making money.
So, I mean, I've raced twice this year.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm starting my season pretty much. I raced in April, 2 weeks later, PTO Ibiza.
Yes.
And
that's it.
And that's it.
And then and during the recovery phase, when could you start? Probably the swimming was because you could ride indoors. And running, you probably can't do much of that, but the swimming.
Yeah, running's not great because it's just the pounding.
Yeah.
But and swimming is the one you're most scared about.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can't move your shoulder
right.
for weeks. But then it somewhat comes back okay. I mean, little by little.
Yes.
But 10 days, 2 weeks of swimming, then you start feeling okay, let's say.
Yes.
But it did take a while for me to start feeling, kind of race ready. Just really recently in the last 2 weeks. So I was quite worried actually in my build-up because even on the run, it wasn't really coming back as quickly as I thought it would. So just had to keep.
When did you start feeling
that
you were going to be okay?
Just recently, in the last 2-3 weeks.
Here,
at
being
most.
here.
Pretty much, just a tad in Boulder just before. Had some good sessions. With Tyler Butterfield, for example, he joined on some sessions. That was good to have him. And some good sessions, but it took a while.
Good for you. Hey, Rudy, have a great one on Sunday. The nice part is it's going to be a crescendo of cheering for you throughout that run, man. 4 laps of thousands of people who all know you.
That will help because it's a little boring on the run. It's mentally pretty tough. So it will help to have a lot of people out there.
Love it. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Rudy Von Berg has been our guest, everybody. And again, Breakfast with Bob, our Nice edition. Hold on. We will be right back.